From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon and welcome to your MTN Noon News. On this Friday, I'm Augusta McDonnell. Let's get right to our top story. First, new developments coming from the Trump administration and the Department of Government Efficiency set to slash $2.7 million in federal leases here in Montana by closing key government offices. MTN's Cassidy Powers learns about two of those cuts, this time in Bozeman.
According to the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, they plan to shut down multiple Social Security offices, Border Patrol facilities, wildlife stations, and other buildings used for federal work across Montana. Part of a massive cost-cutting campaign by the Trump administration led by billionaire Elon Musk. At least 12 leased Montana facilities are to be eliminated or have already been terminated, amounting to a total cost cut of $2.7 million. One of the facilities set to close by the end of September, the Bozeman Fish Health Center. According to their website, the Bozeman Fish Health Center moved to this building in 1996 and since then has provided aquatic animal health services and information. Their lease, $241,265 per year. Another Bozeman facility set to close, Bozeman's U.S. Geological Survey Northern Rocky Mountain Science Center, located near Montana State University. According to their website, the center produces and distributes scientific information needed to manage and restore the ecosystems of the Northern Rockies. Their lease, $369,838 per year. I reached out to Senator Tim Sheehy and Senator Daines, who gave me similar replies, which you can read on our website. I also reached out to Congressman Ryan Zinke, whose spokesperson replied, "Paying for empty buildings is not in the best interest of Montana taxpayers. If a federal agency is renting a building that is larger than it needs, then finding a more affordable office space that fits the public's needs and still delivers the public service is a prudent cost-saving measure. We understand that the functions of the agencies will not shutter. They are just switching addresses." When I asked where these agencies would be moving to, the spokesperson suggested I contact the agencies in question. I reached out to both Northern Rocky Mountain Science Center as well as the Bozeman Fish Health Center, to which I never got a reply. In Bozeman, Cassidy Powers, MTN News.
A lot of us saw a chillier morning earlier, but will that high elevation snow keep falling? Spring-like conditions are still on the horizon. We're checking in now with meteorologist Miller Robson for what to expect this weekend.
All right, show of hands, who's ready for a beautiful weekend? That's what we have on tap. In fact, let's take a tour around the state. You can see up in Whitefish looking really good right now with blue skies looking great there in Great Falls. Fantastic weather right now in Butte and looking good in Billings. In fact, as we take a look around the Horn, we've got lots of sunshine out there with temperatures in the 30s and 40s. So a nice, mainly quiet weekend. It's going to be dry, but some areas going to be dealing with some very strong winds. In fact, there is a high wind watch in effect up and down the front. How strong could the winds be and where will they be going? We'll tell you with that main forecast coming up here in just a few minutes.
Let's take a look now at today's headlines. A meat processing plant in Moore, Montana is in hot water after slaughter processes were suspended by the USDA in late February. That due to non-compliance with food safety and inspection service regulations. A consumer safety inspector watched as, quote, a plant employee required 5 attempts to render a cow insensible. The initial attempt, utilizing a 12-gauge shotgun, was ineffective at rendering the cow unconscious. On Thursday, Big Sky Processing told MTN they were only suspended for a day and have since added extra restraints, added training and verifications. And state wildlife officials have responded to multiple outbreaks of pigeon paramyxovirus, also known as PPMV, in Missoula and Ravalli counties recently. It's an update to a story we first brought you yesterday. Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks reports the disease has almost exclusively impacted Eurasian collared doves, with deaths of between 2 and 20 birds per location being reported. FWP says paramyxovirus doesn't represent a substantial risk to humans or pets, but people should take precautions when disposing of carcasses. For the first time, we're seeing key evidence in the case against Brian Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students more than 2 years ago. The evidence is a chilling series of texts sent by 2 other people who were inside the house at the time of the murders. Jonathan Vigliotti has more.
The unsealed texts shared between the two surviving roommates reveal 17 frantic messages. According to the text, one of them feared a man with a ski mask was in their home around the time of the killings of Madison Mosion, Kaylee Gonzalez, Zaina Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin took place. The two, who were in separate bedrooms, texted between 4:22 and 4:24 a.m. and placed unanswered phone calls to all four victims between 4:19 and 4:27 a.m. No one is answering, texted one of the roommates, identified as DM, to BF, adding, "I'm really confused." DM then texted the phone of roommate Gonzalez, saying, "Kaylee, what's going on?" DM sent another text to BF, writing about the intruder's appearance, saying, quote, "like a ski mask almost, and that he had something over his head and mouth." She goes on to tell BF, "I'm not kidding. I am so freaked out." Then BF tells DM, "Come to my room. Run. Down here." The messages come as a 911 call from the morning of the killings was also made public for the first time. The call, made by BF, came about 8 hours after the text message exchange. It's unclear why they waited so long to call for help. During it, she tells the operator that she found one of her roommates, Zaina Kernodle, unconscious and, quote, "believe she got drunk last night." She also tells the dispatcher that a man was in their home. Brian Koberger was arrested 6 weeks later in connection with the case, and a judge entered a not guilty plea to all charges on his behalf. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
The text messages are really about painting a broader picture for the jury.
The trial is expected to begin in August, where both survivors are expected to be critical witnesses. I'm Jonathan Vigliotti.
The Montana Senate has adjourned for its transmittal break. One of their final actions Thursday was to refer their presiding officer for a potential investigation. Senators voted to submit a request to the Legislative Audit Division's fraud hotline to look into claims about Senate President Matt Regier, a Republican from Kalispell. On Wednesday, the Montana Free Press published use of an attorney while serving as House Speaker. Republican Senator Shelley Vance of Belgrade said on the Senate floor she was troubled by the article and that legislative committees should investigate further. But Republican Senator Daniel Zolnikoff of Billings instead made a motion to forward the issue to the Audit Division.
Mr. President, these are many of the same issues raised in the matter involving Senator Ellsworth. Since we referred Senator Ellsworth to ethics, it only makes sense we begin a similar investigation into the current president of the Senate as well.
This would be consistent with the process that the former president went through, as we should attempt to stay consistent. Let the audit do the report and let him do the findings. That would be intellectually honest and consistent.
Regier told reporters after the Senate adjourned that those accusations were politically motivated, that everything he did was, quote, 100% legit, and that he expected to be fully exonerated by the Legislative Audit Division. The clock is once again ticking on TikTok. The social media app, which was saved from a previous shutdown, is facing a new deadline with the 75-day delay set to expire. But now a Wyoming man is looking to make sure that doesn't happen. MTN's David J. reports.
Reed Reisner says if successful, it will create a Silicon Valley in Wyoming. He says that will go along with the state's other legacy industries, energy, agriculture, and tourism. He says he's confident, and he's the one that can get the deal done.
Reed Reisner has always had lofty goals and big ambitions, but the 40-year-old Casper native has never done something quite like this.
It's an amazing investment for America.
Reisner and his investment group have made a $47.5 billion offer to purchase TikTok.
It's an amazing investment for Wyoming, and the Mountain West states here will all benefit from this. That's for sure.
Reed Reisner is the CEO and founder of Omnivest Financial in Casper and says the offer is an investment and also about national security. He believes more than 170 million Americans on TikTok may have their security and data breached.
We're going to acquire TikTok and the algorithm, and there will be a clean break from ByteDance and the Chinese government for both of those, and we're going to bring it home right here to America.
The Chinese government was also a concern when the 2023 Montana legislature passed a law banning TikTok, even though that law was ultimately met with an injunction. But Reisner's potential investment addresses the legislature's concerns about rights to privacy and the Chinese government's access to information.
It looks like it's going to move into what the whole intent of the bill was.
State Senator Shelley Vance from Belgrade was the main sponsor of that bill, supports Reisner's idea, and says the intent of the bill was not to take away business opportunities on TikTok.
It was completely all about the Chinese Communist Party and their evil ways.
Many others, including Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary and popular YouTuber Mr. Beast, have also made offers to acquire TikTok. But Reisner believes he's the man who has what it takes to make it happen, a potential purchase that would put TikTok in American hands.
We want to use these platforms as they were intended to be used. It's social media, not censored media.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.